This story would have happened when I was around, I'd say 17, 18 years of age. I used to travel once a week from Monaghan to Dundalk to do a 1 day block release for the mechanics, which meant driving from my home in Monaghan to Dundalk. There was a couple of ways you could go. You could go and around and not have to go through Northern Ireland, or you could go the other way and drive through South Armagh, which was probably about 7-8 miles, but it was a shorter way to go. And that time there was probably a lot of trouble about, and there would have been random checkpoints, stuff like that. And my parents were always saying to me, go the long way, don't be going through the South Armagh bit, which you had to go in order to get to where I was going. So this particular morning I went up and got through a place called Cullaville, which would be a fair Republican stronghold. And then as I passed through Cullaville, I just coming back into the south, I had my window open, and to my right hand side a helicopter came out of nowhere. What I found, like I knew after, it had landed in a culvert below the road, and as the helicopter took off, I could see straight across into the open doors of the helicopter. I guess they probably just dropped maybe somebody off and were climbing into the air, and I could see straight in. I could see the blackened out faces of the soldiers, and they were looking straight back across at me. It was pretty early in the morning too, and it's the thing I never forget, the looks on their faces looking at me. It was eye to eye contact. It's just something you never get over. And the roar of the helicopter, and everything so vivid in my mind, and that's like 30 odd years later. So, and then shortly after that, then everything got so hot in that area that they couldn't even land anymore. The IRA just took that area over. It was no-go area for soldiers. So, and from that then came the famous watchtowers, and soldiers were landed on the watchtowers. They couldn't really do checkpoints on the ground. They had to do everything from the air until a long time after that. Question number 1. How does or has the border affected my life? Well, in the past, I came from England when I was 12 years of age to live in Ireland on the border in Monaghan. And the border has always been like a don't go there, dodgy place, trouble. Always people said don't go down the north, don't go over the border because there's trouble going on down there. So you were kind of brought up with that. And then with all the troubles all down the years, that was totally alien to me, because I, growing up in England, never experienced any of this. I always remember once being in the back of a car with an aunt of my father's, who mother and father and the aunt went for a spin, and we got as far, I can remember, I must have been very small, seeing a signpost, and I said, what's down there? And they said, oh, the north, we're not going down there. So that sticks with me in my mind for a long time. In the present, the border, nobody knows what's going to happen because of Brexit, but at the minute, everybody you seem to speak to from all sides doesn't want to go back to any of the trouble, because they've been there and they don't want it back. They know what's going to happen, and I think everything I see over the last 20-30 years, it gets less and less every year, where young people come and they don't want it either. Question 2, on opinions on Brexit. I think Brexit's going to be eventually sorted out, in that because of the whole one Ireland, the island of Ireland North and South, the unionists, kind of loyalists, have come to see now that they can have a foot in both camps of like the EU and being in the UK and get benefits of both things. It's taken them a long time to cop it on, but eventually I think they're going to go with it, where it's not going to happen in England because it's another island and they kind of think that they're on their own anyway. Question 3, on flags and opinions on flags. Flags can be very good in one way, that's like a happy time that if you go to a football match or a rugby match or something like that, you're proud to see the flags. But yet, when you go to, we'll say, down across the border into the north, flags kind of dominate an area. So if you're Catholic and nationalist and you see a tricolour, you're happy. But if you see something to do with the Queen or the Crown or something like that, you know you're in a foreign area, so you get a little bit kind of hesitant and don't really want to stop, but you'll stop if you have to, but you're always kind of on your best behaviour and thinking of the number plate in your car or whatever you're driving. So flags can be divisive in that way, and it can be scary also, depends on where you go.